Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, where we bring awareness of sustainable health in the business hustle space. The Natural Health Podcast is perfect for the high-performing, business-minded individuals who want to work with their biochemistry to achieve optimal health. It's Friday, which means it's time for friends sharing facts about health, business, and overall success. In today's episode, we talk to Monique Cassis, who will talk about the fraud and misconception of conventional skincare products. Monique's background is a practitioner of holistic healing, running functional labs to find healing opportunities in the body. While working with clients, she could never find a skincare line she could tell her clients to turn to. So this is when she went back to school and education on botanical ingredients and studied with a cosmetic biochemist to help her formulate an exceptional clean skincare line to promote health of the skin. When Monique is not practicing and making this amazing skincare, she is either making jewelry, hula hooping, or enjoying her time at the beach, as she does live in California. Welcome to the Natural Health Podcast, Monique.
Yay!
Welcome. So hula hooping, when did you start that? How did you go about that?
I started a couple years ago. I was watching a YouTube and I saw this lady doing it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that just looks so fun and so feminine and free. And I can't dance at all. So it was like, I'm going to try this. And I love it. I mean, you flub up, it's not hooping on the waist. It's doing tricks. So it's
wow.
Hooping.
Yeah. So it's bringing the inner child out, isn't it?
Yeah.
I love it. I remember as a kid, we used to just do all these tricks and hula hooping, and I don't think I've picked one up for like 20 years.
It's gotten really popular here in the US, probably all over actually. But
yeah, and it's going to make its way to Australia. Watch, next year I'll be hula hooping around.
Yeah.
Wonderful, Monique. So in the introduction, I introduced you as a practitioner, and then you went into skincare. So I wanted to know, before we get into today's topic, which I'm so excited to talk about skincare, the fraud about skincare and ingredients and so forth, I wanted to find out a little bit more about yourself and the key turning points in your journey that led you to where you are now.
Well, I was, like I said, a practitioner of holistic healing. And when you work with a client and helping them heal, you've got to do everything. You've got to get the environmental toxins, clean their liver. You have to address everything. And one of the things I had a challenge with was finding non-toxic skincare. And that's what led me into it. Same thing with cleaning supplies and your laundry detergent and all that things people don't really think about that they need to change. And our skin does absorb what we put on it. And so that's where it kind of led me into that. I became an aromatherapist. So I learned about essential oils, and that was about 250 hours worth of schooling. And then through that, I met a cosmetic biochemist, and that's where I went on to have additional training with him. And
yeah, beautiful. So your role before the skincare products, what was that as a healing practitioner that you mentioned? What was your role there?
So what I did is with my clients, whatever they came to, I would run functional labs on them. So I could run their hormones, their liver, gut dysbiosis, look for parasites. The labs that we worked with were very specialized. They're not like our regular medical labs. So if you ran a lab at a medical lab, they probably wouldn't find the parasites. But with our labs, that's all they did. So they would see that. So we would work on modalities to help bring health back. And for me, like every practitioner has their own way of doing things. It's not like I can just help you just through foods. There's so many more things, your mindset, your activities, your surrounding people, your environment.
I love that.
What I tried to do was to encompass all that. I can't fix everything. I'm not a yoga instructor or any of that stuff, but I can do that one part.
Yeah, brilliant. And I mean, you would have helped so many individuals throughout your journey. How long did you do that for?
Gosh, you know what? One of the things I'm so bad with is dates or times. I probably did. Well, I started in the 1980s learning about health. I probably did it for about 8 years.
Yeah, brilliant. Amazing. So you've got experience in the health industry over 40 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've done it for a long time. I did take off some time and have 3 children and raise them. So I did take off.
That's health at its best, having kids. Isn't it? Well, so, and then you studied aromatherapy. What led you to study that? And it's not like you just did a course online that was 5 hours. You did the whole course.
Yeah, it was pretty extensive. I didn't realize how extensive it was. I just wanted to learn about it. But the more I learned about botanicals and the extraction process and how clean it is and, the chemical composition of an essential oil, that was amazing to me. Like what it really can do for your skin, for liver disease and, health issues.
Yeah. The power of essential oils is underestimated, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But one of the things I see though that kind of doesn't sit well with me is I see so many people overusing essential
I was also
oils.
going to say the dangers of essential oil too, because they're so potent.
Yeah, and they can actually cause a lot of harm. When people diffuse essential oils, you should only diffuse it for about 15 minutes every hour, but not all day long. And I know in the US, there's some school teachers that'll run a diffuser all day long. And those constituents get stuck in a child's lung and can cause them actually some health issues down the road because you don't see it right away. And people who will run a diffuser, it can actually kill like the birds or give cats really bad health problems.
Yeah. I remember when I was studying and we were studying about essential oils, and I remember my mentor talking and saying this story, and this stuck with me. Apparently a lady was stuck in just a little room, and they were put on oregano oil, essential oil, and unfortunately she passed away because it was so strong. And oregano oil is like really strong and potent, and it was left in there for a while, and unfortunately she passed away. And that just shows to us how potent these essential oils are. I mean, that was an extreme case. There might have been other things associated with it, but like you said, it's absolutely amazing to talk to a professional aromatherapist to know what you're doing with essential oils 100%.
Wow, that is scary that someone.
Yeah, 100%. Let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Let's talk about your success. Look, in my eyes, I believe that you are very successful with your skincare range, with your career and so forth. But what I wanted to know is what does success look like for you now, Monique?
I base success on me being happy. It really isn't a financial thing. I'm just super blessed because I'm one of those women that I wake up every day happy. Like I rarely have a bad day. The bad part about that is I can't relate to people who have had depression and things like that. I just have been one of those people. My dad always said to me that you can be anything you want to be. Your brain is so powerful. And I always thought as a little girl, wow, I could be an astronaut or I could be a president. Luckily, I never wanted to be those things. But that to me is success, is just being happy no matter what you do.
Yeah, wow, that's absolutely beautiful. And what a blessing to be raised up with such amazing parents that instilled that in you at an early age.
Good guy, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's talk about skincare, which is your expertise. Let's talk about it, in particular, skincare products. So I wanted to know, let's just get straight into it. What are the potential dangers of some skincare products and what makes them so dangerous? Because I mean, look, we can pick up any skincare products at any shop. Like for example, here, it doesn't even have to be a pharmacy or a specific shop. We can pick up any type of skincare products anywhere and we can apply them to our skin. And as we know, our skin is one of our largest organs and it sucks everything in. But little do we look at the back of those skincare products. Little do we even get in touch with the founders to find out how they make it. So I wanted to drill your brain about skincare and just find out the potential dangers of it.
Well, to me, most women buy skincare because they want to look beautiful or they want great skin. But what they're doing with most lines out there, they're actually aging their skin quicker because they're using products. Now, this is my belief. I don't think you should use a skincare product that has water in it. I do think there's probably a few lines out there that might have water in it that might be okay, but water is one of those things that grows bacteria really fast. So when a formulator uses water, they have to use now also other ingredients to make that water not grow the bacteria. So in that case, using skincare with water, I don't recommend.
That's so interesting. That's so interesting. Because I'm going to go have a look at all the skincare products and just have a look if there's water in them. What's something else that can be used instead of water?
Hydrosol or aloe vera. So my line, I use aloe vera. My renewing skin serum, if you look at it, well, I don't really show this very much, but when you purchase it, it's two different colors. So you have to shake it each time. I don't use any emulsifiers. I don't use any preservatives. The essential oils that I use in my product are enough that it preserves it. My renewing skin serum lasts quite a while, like at least a year. But my other products, they have a very short shelf life because they're so raw and so fresh.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So water should be one of them. Is there any other things that shouldn't be in skincare products that may be dangerous for the skin?
Yeah, fragrance, definitely fragrance. Fragrance and perfume. Now, my line is also very aromatic, but it's because of the essential oils and botanicals. The other thing is dyes. I mean, there's so many chemicals out there. I just know, like so many skincare companies, it's basically white powders in beakers that they have, and they just pour a little of this white powder, a little bit of this white powder. I know it's not that simple, but they're all like white powders. And to me, skincare should be vibrant and colorful. Just like, if we want to be healthy, we've got to eat red produce and purple produce and green produce. And that's what I believe in. So that's why I formulated my skincare line to be so colorful, because every color has its own skin benefits.
Yeah, 100%. That's absolutely amazing. So fragrance, I couldn't agree more with in regards to adding that in. And I mean, you said you're using essential oils instead of fragrance. It's an absolutely amazing option.
Yeah. And I took about almost 2 years just to formulate my renewing skin serum. Like I studied essential oils and, I wrote down all the skin benefits of this one and the skin benefits of this one. And I knew what age demographic I wanted to work with. So I chose to work with ones that way. And, when you buy a lavender, there's like a couple hundred different varieties of lavender. And each variety has its own monoterpenols, terpenes, sesquiterpenols. They have their own different constituents in there. So you want to know which ones you're looking for. So that's why it took so long to formulate, going through each one, what location I was sourcing it from, what country.
Yeah, wow. So it's not just, I just want a bit of lavender in here. It's kind of like, wow, there's so many different species of lavender, and then what constituents you want to be the active form in there, and then where you're going to source it from. Do they, how they grow it, where they grow it. So you just went into so much detail, didn't you?
I did. And that's why it took so long to do it. But it is worth it for me. I mean, I because I'm happy with my line and I'm happy the places that I source from and that I know, I think having the aromatherapy background really made a huge difference, because one of the other things you have to do is you have to research other lines and see what's working for them and what they're using. And I was really saddened to see all these lines, like they really don't know what they're using. I mean, there is some good lines out there. There's some great lines out there. But I do have to say, most of the great lines that are out there that are like my line, we're not well known. I mean, we're just not well known.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully you will be, and you are. You're going to be 100%. And I'm keen to try it also. And I'm pretty sure people on the podcast after this podcast are going to be like, I want my hands on this. I don't want to be using the chemicals on my face anymore. And I mean, after seeing your face too, they're going to be like, I'm going to get some. But you did mention emulsifiers and that you don't use emulsifiers. Are they something to look out for in a product?
Yeah, I mean, the only reason you pretty much need an emulsifier is if you're emulsifying two things, and usually it's water and oil. you want to get those to blend. So if it's got water, chances are it's going to have emulsifier, or else it's going to separate. And my renewing skin serum, I speak of that one because it's my number one serum, but it does separate.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
But it's okay because you just shake it.
Yeah, and I just thought about what you said about the water and the bacteria growing in the water. And a lot of individuals may have skin issues like psoriasis, acne, so forth, scarring and so forth. And by them adding bacteria onto their maybe even raw skin or open scars, that can not only just cause skin issues, that can cause gut issues, anxiety issues, like so many issues within the body.
And it's just not going to help their skin heal. I mean, if somebody comes to me with eczema, psoriasis, and things like that, because I have a background, I know that skincare is not their saving grace. It's your diet is your saving grace. But in the meantime, you still have to use something that's going to promote the health of your skin. So, most people out there, they buy a cleanser. And I was the same person. I loved when I washed my face and it felt just so tight, like it felt great. But in reality, you're actually damaging your skin because now your skin has to produce more oil. You've stripped it of all its oils. So your skin becomes drier. And by doing that, it also ages your skin faster. I mean, I've made so many skincare mistakes when I was younger that I didn't know about. And I don't have the perfect skin. Through testing and making, like we have a new scrub. Through making it, I bought so many botanical scrubs and I would try them for a while. And, I actually broke capillaries along my cheek. One day I'm like, oh, I have broken capillaries here. And so you learn by trying it out and trying to find the best exfoliant and things like that. So, but I'm okay with it. Yeah, now I've saved it for everybody else. You don't have to ruin your skin.
And I love that you tested on yourself. I think that's brilliant. I mean, you know the science behind it. You know how the body works. You know how the skin works. And then you were testing on yourself. And then you made a line yourself. I mean, that is just absolutely brilliant. I mean, that's the type of person that I would want to buy skincare of. I think that's brilliant that you went and got the experience, you made the thing and then tested on yourself and saw results.
And my friends.
Yeah. Lucky or unlucky them. I love that. So you mentioned about the cleanser.
Yeah.
So is that something that shouldn't be included in someone's routine?
So a cleanser with water, again, those are usually going to be more drying. None of my line uses water, and moisturizers have water in them. So none of my products are moisturizers. I have oils, nectars, hydrosol, and a butter. So there's no water in that will cause that drying.
That's so interesting. That's very, very interesting. A lot of people would be like, oh my gosh, that's like, wow.
My cleanser is an oil cleanser. I guess I should have said that. My cleanser is an oil cleanser. And there are some great oil cleansers out there. And the wonderful thing about them, I've always had really oily skin, and I did not want to be one of those people using oil cleansers. But the more I read about it, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have to formulate that way. And I tried so many different oils, and there's particular like carrier oils that when you put them on your skin, they'll start dissolving the dirt they start dissolving the other oils that are on your skin. And by doing that, it pulls out the dirt that's on your skin. And then, just being out environmental toxins, they land on our skin. And so that softens it. And when you're done washing your face, your skin feels really soft. I was so used to that tight feeling. Now I just love that soft feeling.
Yeah, it's so true. And I can definitely relate to you in regards to the oil, because I thought the same. I was like, oh, if I put too much oil on my face, it might just become a little bit, too clogged up or something along those lines. Yeah. Yeah.
And I break out super easy. I'll get one pimple or something, but I break out so easily and it was nice for me because my line doesn't break me out. And I want to say I'm 57 years old and I will still get acne.
That's amazing. I
always thought by the time I'm 18, I will be done, but wasn't.
I love it. You look absolutely amazing for your age. Absolutely. So that skincare definitely works. So what I wanted to know about is, what are some products, chemicals to probably more chemicals and things like that stay away from when it comes to skincare? I know we've spoken a little bit about water, and we've spoken about emulsifiers and things like that, fragrances. Is there anything else that pops to your mind that when we look at our skincare products that maybe we should stay away from?
There's so many. I mean, there's the phthalates, there's the parabens, there's so many out there. And sodium lauryl sulfate, I start saying those, most consumers aren't going to remember that, but they'll remember water, they'll remember fragrance, and they'll remember dyes if they see dyes on there.
Yeah, I love that. I love making it simple and sticking it to 3 things. I absolutely love that, because when we got a lot of products here in Australia, and it does say no EDTA, no SLS, and so forth. But I mean, when as a consumer that's not aware of what they mean and as chemicals, you just look at it and go, is this just a marketing gimmick, or does that actually mean something?
Well, I don't know the company, and I think every company is kind of different, but if they say it doesn't have this, it probably has that. That's how I feel. And the other thing consumers can do is, if you're looking for products, go look for the word greenwashing. Google, if you find a line you like, just see if that company's ever been involved in greenwashing. And greenwashing means that company touts that they're natural and they're organic and they're all this, but they've been caught not being as green as they say they are. Some lines have picked up and changed over, but and also, if you're using, say there's a product you really like from one particular line, but everything else is bad in that line, probably there's something wrong with that one piece too. Like I always, when I buy things, whether it's for my house or any sort of thing, I want to make sure that whole company stands behind being ethical and sustainable.
Yeah, it's so interesting and so important that you mentioned that the company's values should be that, because then the products, you don't even have to kind of worry about them in a sense, because that is what they stand for. So therefore it should just fall down onto their product line.
Yes, that's how I feel.
No, I agree 100%. I think that's absolutely important. But a lot of us don't even know the company that we're buying from. We don't even know who the founders are, how it got brought up, how long has it been there for? Is it a sister company, a parent company? Is it something above it? We just don't know, because we don't, I guess, educate ourselves in that. But what we're trying to say here is, do it. If you're using it every single day, educate yourself on your products.
Yeah.
Because you're only probably using one moisturizer, max 2. That's only 2 then. And then you're only using something else and using it for a minimum of 3 months. So why not, right? Yeah, I love that.
I think you need to know the company you buy from, especially for skincare.
Yeah, 100%. So what could happen if an individual uses these skincare products that are, not so healthy for us, and we keep applying them on our skin year after year after year? What are some potential side effects that can occur?
Well, 2 things that will occur. 1, your skin's going to age quicker. It's going to show the appearance. Some people will get a lot of chemical peels and their skin will look fabulous. But as they age, those chemical peels have taken off so many layers of skin that now their skin starts to age. And same with skincare. When you're using a brand or a line or even a product that doesn't do anything to promote the health of your skin, you're deteriorating your skin. And then the other thing is, when you're using products that have, all those toxic chemicals, fragrance and whatever, they seep into your skin, they go into your bloodstream, your liver has to clean that. And there's so many health issues in the world. You don't want to do any more damage to your liver. You want to keep your liver clean. It's already struggling just by breathing, environmental toxins and dryer sheets and things like that. So it's really important to just apply the best you can.
Yeah, I love that you actually made a connection in regards to skin and liver, because when we put our moisturizer on our face, we don't think, oh, how's their liver dealing with this?
Right.
No one really makes that connection, but I love that you brought that up, and that, it does need to, these toxins that we put in us through our skin, through our mouth, through breathing it, we somehow need to remove them. And
Yeah.
our liver is fortunate enough to get those toxins to be able to remove them out. And we don't want to be placing more burden onto it.
Right. And our livers are burdened when we're born from, our mother, if their livers were burdened. But it's pretty much how we are. When you buy an apple, I don't know how it is there, but when we buy apples, even our organic apples, they've got a coating of wax on them. And I cannot scrub that wax off. I have to set my produce like in a big bucket of water with just a little bit of vinegar and let it sit. And then it will just kind of come off of it. But
yeah,
you don't want that in your liver.
No, 100% not, because our body doesn't know what to do with it in a sense. Well, it does know what to do with it, but it's something new. It's like, how do I remove these toxins? So, and then, diseases, health issues arise, and little do we know that it was due to our skincare.
Yeah.
Or that added that burden. It just was the cherry on top of the cake that just pushed it all across.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. And you did mention about the peels. So in regards to chemical peels, is this something that removes healthy oils from our skin, and it's not something that's as good as we believe it is?
You mean chemical peels from an esthetician?
Yeah.
I think if you have a good esthetician who's worked with you, they can start you on. There's some peels, I don't know if I would call them healthy, but they're not as detrimental. And they can slowly build you up and work with doing little pills. Like there's fruit acid pills that aren't as damaging. But if you're not doing them constantly and your esthetician works on slowly, it's not a bad thing. Of course, there is more pills that are very damaging and not good for the skin.
Yeah, 100%.
Like the severe ones where you look like you're burned.
Yeah. And I know exactly what you're talking about. I had one done a few years ago and I was like, ooh, this doesn't feel right. It's like, okay, I understand what is happening, but it doesn't feel right. So yeah, and this was 5-6 years ago. So, so it's interesting that did you say there's some fruit acid peels? I haven't heard about that.
There's fruit acid peels. I buy those and I use them once in a while, not very often, but I don't sell it.
Yeah.
But I do see an esthetician. I haven't seen her since like last February, so miss her. But I really think seeing an esthetician does make a big difference in how your skin looks too, because she knows things I don't know. She's seeing my skin differently, and she's not from the States either. She's from another country, but her knowledge is so much different. So she's taught me a lot too. So I do think it's important to find a good esthetician also who can, even monthly, just do a facial massage on you, treat your skin and send you off and you take care of the rest at home.
Beautiful, beautiful. I can just imagine you taking your own products and be like, can you do all of this?
I know. I thought I didn't take my skincare to her, but I asked her everything she was going to use on my skin because I didn't want anything. But she happens to be very holistic, so I was keyed into.
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. I'm on the lookout for a good one around my area that is holistic. So I'm gonna see how I go.
Oh, good.
I love that. Thank you. So we get a cream or anything on those lines, and on it may say anti-aging, hydrating, and other labels on products. I know we don't have a certain product that we're talking about right here, right now, and we don't want to put any products down in a sense, but how true are these statements in a sense, anti-aging, hydrating, and so forth?
I love this question because that's the thing I think everybody's so misled about. I don't say that my skincare line is going to make you look younger. I just don't believe skincare does that. Skincare makes the health of your skin better. Just like eating fruits and vegetables makes your cells better, healthier, happier. And that's what I believe about skincare. I don't believe in anti-aging. We just don't age backwards. But I know that's such a key word and women love that word and they love what it means. But realistically, it's not a fact. Hydrating, there is botanical hyaluronic acid that is used a lot in skincare. I do have it in my renewing skin serum, but I have a botanical hyaluronic acid. And it's also technically not an acid. It's just called that. And so mine's Lusher. It's made from senna seed. And I know other
From senna seed. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was too. It's made from senna seed. So it's a hyaluronic acid. So it just makes your skin feel a little more dewier. I never like to say my line's going to make you look younger, but it will soften fine lines. It will make your skin more refined. And it will make your skin healthier.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that you yourself have a product line, and that you also did mention that skincare is not the end and all for skin issues, that it is your, your diet and so forth, what's happening inside of your body. So coming from someone that, has their own product line and saying something like that, I think that's, that's absolutely fabulous that you're saying that along those lines.
Yeah. I just, when I go on Facebook, you see skincare line after skincare line making all these claims like, no, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You can't. If you did, we'd all be buying it. There would be no reason for any other skincare line. I have an interesting thing that happened. My aunt is very wealthy, and she travels the world and she buys skincare everywhere. And I asked, she's in her 70s, and I asked her about a year ago, I said, hey, Aunt Kathy, with all the skincare lines that you've bought over your life, is there any product that's ever made a difference in your skin? And she said, no, not a one. And I just remember like, wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
And I don't push my line on people. Like even my friends, like some of my friends don't even know what I do, because I don't want them to feel that like, oh, I got to buy from her. But I just love talking about health. And so I never like flaunted my line to my aunt or anything like that. And so one day she sees me using it and she's like, oh, can I try that? So she tried it, and she's now been a customer ever since. So she buys 3 pieces. Those are her 3 core pieces, and she buys those all the time.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so interesting because, there's so many countries that are known for their skincare, product lines in Europe and so forth. Yeah. And I'm the same. I've got aunties and, and cousins and things like that. They use a lot of products. And like, if I stay over their place, something, and I see their products, even though I only know so much, this much compared to you in regards to skincare, I'm like, oh, no, why are you putting that on your face? I'm like, no, your poor liver, your poor kidneys. I was like, no, it just, it hurts, because I'm like, you're going to have to detox this. And not only that, you think the thing that hurts me the most is that people, us individuals, we think we're doing the best, right? Yeah. We're not buying these products to damage our skin. Well, no one's doing that. We're buying these products because we strongly believe that it's going to assist us or help us in some way. So this is where I guess I get a bit, upset about, same as you. And I'm like, oh no, well, let's talk. Like, and like, you don't want to push that onto them. I understand that 100%. But at the same time, like if your products can assist someone's health, like that's absolutely amazing. You know what I mean? Like if someone's got, like, for example, like I'm just thinking holistically, like if someone's got adrenal fatigue or like, chronic fatigue, and then they change their products, all their products, their cleaning products, their facial products and all that, there's less burden on their body. They've got more energy because their body doesn't have to remove all these chemicals all of a sudden. But not many individuals are making that link.
Right. And by doing that, it allows their body some time to actually regenerate and to heal and to get better.
Yeah. So it's not just regenerating your skin, it's regenerating everything.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. There you go. You can take that marketing line. I love that. So we're talking about anti-aging, and like you said, I can just imagine with the research that you did for your line, it would have been a hot like keyword, anti-aging, right? So how can we achieve anti-aging when it comes to our skin, or is that something that we want to achieve?
Well, I think people need to define, what does anti-aging mean to you? I think people want a glow. They want to look dewy. They want to look youthful, right? I think that's what we all strive to look like. with skincare, you're not going to change the shape of your eyes or any of that. So it has to be about the skin. And we want to look vibrant. The simplest way really is just to smile. I mean, that already just lightens up anybody's face, is smiling. I believe to have beautiful skin, you also need to do some facial exercises just to wake it up, get some blood flow in there, do some maybe gua sha or facial massaging, and lymphatic drainage. You have to do that. I have a really big problem with lymph. Like, I store so much under here, under my eyes. And I'm like, I know this from so many decades. How come I still struggle with it? But I do. And I know that if you have bags under your eyes, puffiness, that's usually your kidneys and maybe your liver, but usually it's your kidneys first. So I always, I do a lymphatic drainage almost every morning. And this is something most people don't know. Your lymph settles right in here. So all that fluid sits right there. You have to release that fluid every time before you do any facial massage or exercises, because it will drain down. It'll just puddle up and go back up. So this is like the number one thing you have to do, is empty right here first. And you just tap and then push it out.
Yeah. Wow. That's so interesting. And you mentioned gua sha. Is that preferred to do every day, every second day? Do you, how do you use it? If you can explain to the audience.
I think it just depends what you're trying to achieve. You can use it every single day. If you don't have gua sha, you don't need to get the stone. You can even, just do it with your hands, just depending on what area you want to go through. I mean, there's so many different areas. Like, I have my set favorites that I like to do, and I watch so many tutorials, and I think, wow, that's a new one, but it's not something I particularly need. So I stick with the ones I need. I used to be a personal trainer also back in like the 1980s. And I was a personal trainer again for 30 years, but there was a period in there when I wasn't. And one of the things, is working with muscles. So that's the same thing I've been teaching myself with the face muscles, because there's isometric exercises, there's isotonic, which is how you hold the exercise, or if you hold it with the resistance. And I see all these women out there doing facial exercises, and I'm like, they're doing pulsing, quick pulsing exercises instead of an isometric, which is where you hold the pose and let the muscle kind of burn. So that's, again, something I've been practicing with my face. I think it's better doing the isometrics exercises on the face, but I don't see any face yoga people doing that yet. Yeah. They're doing the pumping, where I think the isometric is a better.
It's so interesting. And I mean, just talking with you for the last half an hour or so, so much knowledge. Like, used to be a professional trainer, like training individuals, a trainer, and then aromatherapy, functional, and now product line. Like, you've got so much experience in health, and you've put it all together. Like, I think that's absolutely brilliant. And then your just knowledge about muscles also, like how key they are with your face and so forth. And it's so interesting that you mentioned about this area here above, underneath the neck area, in regards to the lymph. Yeah, the lymph. So is it just, did you say tapping and then removing? Is that what you do?
Yeah. So you can see where the collarbone is, where your fingers will dip in. You just kind of press it with your tips. So just do it like about 10 times just to loosen it up. Yeah. And then cross over. It's hard because I have clothes on. And then you want to push it out. So you would push it out that way. So medical says that your lymph system cleans through your heart. The holistic modality is your lymph system is clean through your kidneys. So when you clean through your when you clean your lymph, or you want to move your lymph, you move it off that way. Then you would take it down the side into the kidneys. So if you're doing your legs, you come up and take it to the kidneys, not to the heart.
Yeah, and it's so interesting.
Your lymph system does not go through your heart. It's its own system.
Yeah. And it doesn't move unless we move it.
Right.
Or we move. And this is why exercise is so important for our skin to look amazing. Who would have made that link, huh?
I know. It's funny, all those things they say, exercise, eat fruits and vegetables. You hear it so much, it almost has no meaning, but it's so important.
Yeah, 100%. You're on point there. And I wanted to touch base. You did mention the exercises about movement, and then just leaving it. What would be one, for example? So have you watched face exercises? They look hideous. I actually haven't. I know I've seen people do these ones, tapping their chin. I've seen people do that, or some people going like that, moving their face around, but I haven't like Googled it or looked into it specifically.
Well, something that's really easy that you could do every morning is just you say, wow, really big yawn. So you're just bringing blood flow. Yeah, really big. And the main thing you want to try not to do is to raise your eyebrows, because it can create more lines in your forehead.
Wow.
And you want to say the wow big.
Yeah.
And you almost want to feel like you're contracting here. And if you have viewers that are like my age, over 40, 57, over 50, we start getting this chin hair, the extra skin. Some of it's fat, because we store fat. But the other thing that we store here is excess fluid. So women, they say, oh, there's a neck cream. I want to buy a neck cream. Neck creams don't do anything but maybe make it feel soft. They are not going to get rid of this. They are not going to, change all this. A lot of this, this extra skin here comes from facial exercise, tightening and toning, and also moving the lymph, because it's not all just fat. You carry fluid in there, or women carry fluid in there.
Yeah, that's so interesting. That's absolutely interesting. I love that. My mom's going to absolutely love this episode. She's going to love it. I'm going to send it to her. I'll go over hers and I'll see her going.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've
seen LouLei Botanicals on Instagram soon, because I do want to start doing those. I have to write everything out. It's brand new to me to be doing it, live and demonstrating it.
Yeah.
I think, I have to do it, and I want to teach other women to do it, and I just don't want them to have to go buy, facelifts. There's no reason to do that.
Yeah.
If you don't want to.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant. That's an absolutely great idea. A one-stop shop to, your website, and then be able to get those exercises from a credible source, not just from, I don't know. It's amazing to get it from someone like yourself with so much knowledge and so much experience.
Thank you.
So another question that I wanted to ask is, clearly LouLei Botanicals is your product line. How is it different? I mean, we've spoken about so many things about how it's different, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to explain how it's different from other products, I guess.
The number one way I would say that it's different is, well, first off, it's from plants. Everything is from plants. I do have a clay, which is not from a plant, it's from the ground. So I guess I should say everything's from earth. Main thing about my line. The other thing is that it's colorful, but it's color from plants. And, your reds have the carotenoids, your greens have the I always mess up on that word, but they have their own different components. So every color has its own component of what it does and why it's good for the skin. And I just think if you're going to buy skincare, it needs to be full of color, because color means life. Color means health for the skin. And it means that it's truly feeding the skin. When I see white skincare, it's just like, I don't get it. Like how can you, we don't eat white fruits and vegetables all day long. So that's just what I don't understand. So I just had to make skincare vibrant, full of colors, and full of good skin benefits.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. So in regards to your product line, how long have you had that for?
I've had it for only about 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's been in a long time making.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I mean,
Up on
making.
the market for about 4 years. I've had it. I've had it a couple years before that.
Yeah. And is it manufactured in the US?
Yeah, right. I do everything. I formulate it. I mix it. I sourced it. It took me, again, a little over a year to source everything. Luckily, I have the cosmetic chemist, so he helped me with the oils sourcing. And another thing that I use that you don't see in skincare is I use CO2s. CO2s are a supercritical plant extraction. And what it means is, so we have essential oils, and then we have lipid oils. Lipid oils are like jojoba, avocado, the thicker oils you could actually cook with. I use a handful of CO2, supercritical plant extractions. This plant extraction is the only truest form of plant extraction where it's getting the most benefits and the most nutrients from that particular food. So you can buy a frankincense essential oil, or you can buy a CO2 frankincense. The CO2 will have more components drawn out of it than an essential oil. So it's more of a benefit to the skin than an essential oil. And most people don't know about a CO2 or supercritical plant extraction. There's a couple companies that I will see use 1 or 2 CO2s. I use a lot. I order a lot of CO2s just because I know how powerful they are. And I have an ingredient. I've never seen this in any skincare line. It's called heliocarrot CO2. And that it's so potent. You can't even buy it plain because it's so potent. It has to be mixed with organic jojoba. But even mixed with organic jojoba, if I was to put it on my hand, it's red. It's completely red. Even if I took a little and just tapped it on my face, it would give me like a suntan glow. It's that red. But it's just like, it's the most amazing ingredient out there. And I don't know why everybody else doesn't know about it. I'm glad they don't know about it. Because so far, I think I'm the only one using it. Somebody has to be buying it. But it's just, It's such a cool ingredient.
Yeah, that's so interesting. So in regards to that, you're getting more of the benefit from that extract in a more condensed form. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's very, very potent. And if you can only buy one skincare product and you want to really help your skin, make it red. Red is just amazing. If you're looking at bottles and they're using plants, get red over green, over yellow, over white.
Yeah. I know that I've got some rose oil, I think it is. And I remember
rose hip or rose oil.
I'm pretty sure it's rose hip. Yeah, rose hip. But it's interesting because I remember talking to, I think it was my grandma, and she lives on a farm in Croatia. And the interesting part is she said to me, like in the mornings, you know how you get the plants and the water that comes down? She's like, grab them and put them on your face.
Oh, cool.
She said, because you're getting the extract of, I guess it depends what, like she's had rosemary there and so forth, and get that water and then wash your face with that in the morning, And I was like, oh my God, that's so interesting. I didn't even think about that. Like, it's like that water that just comes fresh off the leaves.
That is amazing. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. I would do that. I'd be crazy on a farm.
I love that. I mean, here in Australia, a lot of individuals are moving away from the cities, and I know myself, I spent, I think it was 5 days as a little vacation in the city, and I could straight away tell my skin was different. It was a lot more dry because I spent more time in a hotel which had constant airflow going. It was a bit dry. It was just a bit like, I was like, I just want to go home. Yeah, but you can definitely feel the difference. When you change locations.
Yeah.
So in regards to, you were mentioning your top product. What is in your top product, if you don't mind talking about it? The cream that you kept mentioning.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a serum.
Yeah, serum.
There's aloe, there's camellia, there's jojoba. I have sea buckthorn, I have rosehip, I have orange. Oh my gosh. Why am I blanking out on this? I think I have 14 different ingredients in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it's real. I mean, that's my number one seller. It's very aromatic, very aromatic. So it's very strong, but nice. And then the other one that I sell a lot, it's the Enchanting Nectar. It's about that big. It's red. I should have had my products right here. I don't know why I didn't. But anyways, it's a red nectar. And I always recommend that, like if you're 40 and over, it's just the most vibrant for the skin, really helping it. And then we have a kiwi seed CO2. That's for people that break out. And then the other one, Euphoric, it's for normal skin, but it has neroli in it. Have you ever smelled neroli?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh, it's just the most decadent aroma there is. If you ever see anything with neroli, go smell it. It's really nice. Neroli is the, you know, when you see an orange tree growing or a lemon tree and there's those little white flowers, that's the aroma of neroli.
Oh, nice. I've seen that then, 100%. I've probably smelt it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's so beautiful. And the thing that you're just talking about, the ingredients in your product, in my head straight away, I'm like, oh, if you took that internally, that's good for this. I was just like, this is amazing. So I can just imagine how good it is for our skin. It's kind of like that food that, you know, like the sea oil that we're talking about, the rose hip, anything like that you eat, it does amazing things in our body. So I can just imagine what it does on our skin, you know, and we wouldn't take those fragrances. We wouldn't eat those. We wouldn't eat those emulsifiers. We wouldn't eat those chemicals. So why should we put them on our face?
Yeah. And things like, I'll see companies, they'll use jasmine. Jasmine has absolutely no skin benefits, but it smells good. Every single one of my ingredients has a skin benefit. There's nothing that I've put in just to make it smell good. It has to have some sort of skin benefit or I'm not using it.
Yeah, I can just imagine. So I know we've spoken about a number of things, about some practical tips for the audience to incorporate in their skincare, such as the gua sha, the massaging, the lymphatic massage, and so forth, using red ingredient cream on you. Is there any other practical tips that you can mention to the audience? And I mean, you mentioned if you're over 40, you should do this. Is there anything in regards to individuals who may be under 40 or anything along those lines?
Yeah. So for under 40, basically all the mistakes I made, skin under 40, they don't need to be using a full set of foundation. I think it doesn't allow the skin to breathe. When you take your eye makeup off at night, I use jojoba and I just put a little on a cotton pad and I hold it. I don't rub. I used to rub when I was younger and I have stretched skin lines under my eyes. It's really hard to get rid of because when you're younger, you're like, oh, your eyes look fine when you do that. But it keeps tearing over the years and you'll look older when you're older. So just to hold the compress and then gently take it away. And if you wear eyeshadow or lipsticks, know the company, buy from a company that's non-toxic. That's super, super important, especially when you're younger. When I grew up, we didn't have that education. It wasn't a big deal. And I did wear full foundation. I don't wear foundation anymore. I quit years ago, but I wore toxic makeup and eyeshadow, and it definitely aged my skin quicker than my friends who didn't wear any eye makeup.
Yeah, that's so interesting that you say that. So what would a amazing routine look like, a skin routine in the morning and during the day and at night?
Okay, so in the morning, to put on an oil cleanser, let it sit for a minute, and during that minute, just massage your face a little bit, bring some stimulation to it. Use a warm, wet cloth to wipe off all the excess. And then, so I do everything in the shower. I have a mask, so you can use it as a mask or a scrub, or a cleanser. Sometimes when I put on my oil cleanser, I'll pour just a little bit and use it as an exfoliant on the days that I feel like I need a little extra. So you can exfoliate a couple times a week also. And then after the shower, especially for women that are over 40 that need more hydration, spray on some hydrosol mist onto the face and then put the serum on. And then you can use a nectar, like, you know, if you have spots that you want to help soften or fine lines, that's what the nectars are. The nectars are like an enhancement to what you're already doing. So you put that on afterwards.
Yeah, amazing. And then at night?
At night, I would just do a cleanser, take it off, still use the serum. And then we have a butter, a revitalizing rescue butter, and I formulate it specifically for my under eye area because I had tore my lines so bad and I really didn't like my fine lines. So the butter is amazing. I imported raw butters right from Brazil and from Africa. So these butters are not refined at all. They come in hard chunks, they come soft, they come green. They're just amazing butters. And it's small villages who process this butter. So the butter's meant for under the eyes and for the neck and décolleté area because so many women neglect this area. Oh, and another thing, if you're using any sort of skincare that's red, that red actually helps protect you from getting this damage from the sun. It's a red skincare is just amazing. I can't say enough about it.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. You just gave us all your little secrets right here, right now. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that because, you know, some people hold on to the information, but I love that you're sharing your knowledge, your experience, and being open to it and saying, you know, I did do this, you know, and I'm, you know, that's how I take my eye makeup off when I wear it, you know, but now I'll be a bit more, you know, okay, place it on there. So I love that you're sharing your knowledge and expertise with us and just putting it all out there. Thank you so much. So we've come to the end of the podcast and I wanted to know to finish off, I ask all my guests, as this is the Natural Health Podcast, what is your best kept natural health hack, Monique?
Wow, I feel like I've tried to share everything. I think really the best health hack is raw fruits and vegetables, honestly. I mean, your body feels wonderful inside. You feel refreshed, you feel clean. I think raw fruits are amazing. They detox the cells like crazy. I'm really a big raw foodie. I mean, I eat cooked food and I eat all that food, but I really truly believe eating a ton of raw fruits and vegetables are really what help a lot. And a smile without a doubt.
I love that. Don't worry about the fine lines that your smile gives you because that's worth it, huh? We've got the skincare products to remove it. I love that. So individuals that will listen to this podcast are like, oh my gosh, Monique, I love your product line. How can I get my hands on it?
You can go to my website, LouLeiBotanicals.com. I believe you can also check out on Instagram. I know my card's up there on Instagram. And then I do have a discount code for anybody that's interested. It's 15% off and the code is HELLO15.
Beautiful. Wow, that's huge. 15% off for the audience. That's absolutely amazing. I'll definitely put that underneath the show notes to make sure that individuals are able to access it. And do they ship all around the world?
Yep. Unless there's some countries right now where they've kind of closed because of COVID. Of course. Wonderful. I can't wait to get my hands on some and try it out and share this experience because, you know, the knowledge that you've provided in this podcast and, you know, looking at, you know, the experience that you had putting it all together. Like you said, there's not one ingredient that's not in there for not a reason. There's always an ingredient in there that's got a reason as to why it is in there. It's going to benefit your skin. I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you.
Beautiful. Did you want to share anything else with the audience before we call it an end?
I don't know. I think I'm good. Of course, I'll remember when we shut off, but.
Beautiful. Amazing. Well, what I'll do is I'll put your contact details and your Instagram and your website and the discount code HELLO15, 15% off, which is absolutely amazing, of this amazing skincare line. I'll put it all in the show notes. And then if you want to contact Monique directly, I'll also put her contact details on there. But look, we've come to the end of this absolutely magical podcast. Thank you for joining us at the Natural Health Podcast. And remember, the missing link between failure and success is your health.
Thank you so much.